The power of healing trauma, rewiring the subconscious mind, and aligning with the law of attraction. Emma had always been a compassionate and driven person. But behind her warm smile and ambitious nature, she carried the invisible weight of trauma from her past. Growing up in a chaotic household filled with emotional neglect and verbal abuse, Emma's self-worth had been shattered early on. Her father's harsh words and her mother's absence left her believing that she was never enough, no matter what she did. These wounds festered in her subconscious mind, shaping her beliefs about herself and her place in the world. As an adult, Emma excelled professionally, but felt disconnected from her success. She constantly engaged in negative self-talk. "I'm a failure. I'll never be good enough. Nothing ever works out for me." These thoughts weren't just fleeting. They were deeply ingrained beliefs that had become automatic over the years. Despite her outward success, she felt stuck, as if something was blocking her from truly thriving and living a fulfilled life. Her personal relationships suffered too. Emma often found herself in toxic friendships and romantic relationships that mirrored the dynamics of her childhood. Her subconscious mind, programmed by trauma, had her seeking situations that reinforced her belief that she didn't deserve love or happiness. She couldn't understand why, no matter how hard she tried, she kept repeating the same painful patterns. The turning point in Emma's life came when she began learning about the power of the subconscious mind and how it governs much of our thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. She realized that the negative self-talk she engaged in wasn't just random, but a reflection of the beliefs buried deep in her subconscious beliefs formed by trauma. Emma's therapist explained to her that the subconscious mind is like a vast database, storing all of our life experiences, especially those formed during childhood. Traumatic experiences leave a deep imprint, shaping how we see ourselves and the world. These patterns become automatic scripts that play in the background of our lives, influencing our decisions, reactions, and even what we attract. Understanding this, Emma saw that her negative self-talk was more than just bad habit. It was a reflection of the deep, unhealed wounds from her past. She began to grasp that every time she told herself she wasn't good enough, she was reinforcing the trauma-based beliefs that had been dictating her life for years. Around this same time, Emma was introduced to the law of attraction. LOA, which states that the energy we put out into the universe through our thoughts and emotions is what we attract back into our lives. The LOA isn't just about thinking positively, but about aligning your inner beliefs with the external reality you want to create. Emma realized that her subconscious mind, filled with negative self-talk, had been sending out powerful signals to the universe. By constantly telling herself, "I'll never be enough," and "I don't deserve happiness," she was unintentionally manifesting experiences that reinforced those very beliefs. The law of attraction was working, just not in her favor. This realization hit Emma hard. She saw the direct link between her trauma, her subconscious programming, and the reality she was creating. It became clear that if she wanted to change her life, she needed to heal the trauma and rewire her subconscious mind. But it wasn't enough to simply think positively. She needed to shift the very foundation of her beliefs and transform her self-talk into a powerful tool for manifestation. Emma began working with a trauma-informed therapist who specialized in subconscious reprogramming. Through a combination of hypnotherapy, mindfulness, and energy healing, Emma began to access the deeply buried beliefs in her subconscious mind. She started to recognize how her inner dialogue was tied to the traumatic experiences of her past, and for the first time, she gave herself permission to challenge those beliefs. One of the most profound shifts in Emma's healing journey came when she learned to be mindful of her self-talk. Her therapist reminded her, "Your self-talk isn't just a private conversation with yourself. It's a conversation with the universe." This idea resonated deeply with Emma, and she began to approach her inner dialogue with greater awareness. Every time she caught herself thinking, "I'm not enough," she paused and replaced it with, "I am worthy, and I deserve love and success." Initially, this felt strange and forced, but with time and practice, the new, positive affirmations began to take root. Emma also used visualization techniques, imagining herself surrounded by light and abundance, as if her desires had already manifested. She practiced gratitude daily, focusing on the things she was thankful for, rather than what was lacking in her life. As Emma continued this work, she began to see changes in her external reality. Her relationships improved as she attracted people who respected and appreciated her for who she was. Opportunities started to flow into her career with greater ease, and her confidence grew. What had once seemed like an unbreakable cycle of self-sabotage and negative thinking was transforming. But perhaps the most significant change was the relationship Emma developed with herself. Through mindful self-talk and the healing of her trauma, she learned to show herself compassion. She realized that her worth wasn't tied to her productivity or external validation. It was inherent, simply because she existed. Emma's journey wasn't without setbacks. There were days when the old beliefs crept back in, whispering that she wasn't good enough. But instead of letting those thoughts take over, Emma recognized them as remnants of her old trauma and acknowledged them without judgment. She would gently remind herself, "This is just the past talking. It's not my truth anymore." With time, Emma's subconscious mind began to align with her conscious desires, and the universe responded. Her life became a reflection of the positive energy she was now putting out, and she felt empowered, not by what she achieved externally, but by the peace and wholeness she had cultivated within herself. Today, Emma uses her story to inspire others. She understands that healing from trauma is not an overnight process, and changing the subconscious mind takes consistent effort. But she also knows, without a doubt, that it's possible. The universe is always listening, and when we're mindful of our self-talk, we have the power to create a life that aligns with our true desires. Emma's story is a testament to the power of healing the subconscious mind and aligning with the law of attraction. It's a reminder that no matter how deep the wounds of trauma, it's possible to rewrite the narrative and manifest a life of abundance, love, and fulfillment. It all starts with how we speak to ourselves, because every word is a conversation with the universe.